All right, fans of music, welcome back. It is just Harmless Dave here, the Real Music Observer, observing real music in real time for real people just like you and just like me. Whitesnake has a brand new song out. It's called Shut Up and Kiss Me. I've listened to the song a few times. I think the song is pretty good. But David Coverdale, who is 67 years old, his voice is literally just a thin shell of what it used to be. And it's, to do this kind of music, what I call sort of pop metal music for this long, it's really difficult, especially when you listen back to the legacy of this group in the late 1980s and early 90s, and even prior to that. If you're a huge fan of bluesy hard rock, you think to yourself, you really do need a vocal powerhouse. At one time, Coverdale was kind of like a poor man's version of Robert Plant. He sung, of course, with Deep Purple, and I believe is a member of the Rock Hall of Fame with Deep Purple. But listening to this, it's a painful thing for me, because at a certain point you have to say to yourself that I am not the guy I was 20 or 30 years ago. There are some vocalists like Paul Rodgers and Mickey Thomas and Graham Bonnet, just insane, who continue to kind of be closer to what they were. I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm not saying it's an exact replica of what they used to sound like. But with Coverdale here, it's a little painful. The song is pretty decent, and the video reenacts the car thing, the Tawny Katane thing, where a number of women attempt to be Tawny. Unfortunately, they're not equal to Tawny. I'm sorry. It's just one of those things. If you go back in time and watch those videos, you know what I'm talking about. And I guess it's a little bit of tongue-in-cheek. It's almost like car body surfing. There's a couple of them that it's I get it. I get what they're trying to do with the video. And the video will get a lot of views. I mean, this is an international band with a huge following, and they sandbagged this record for a whole year. I think it was in the can last spring, and for some reason they called off the release and said, okay, we're going to release it next year. So they've built up adequate interest in it, but the bottom line for me is that David Coverdale is just not really able to pull this off. His voice is very creaky and just sounds like a really old version of himself singing these songs that maybe if they unplugged or went acoustic. And his lower register was such a rich sort of deep sound and a full sound that it's just the high register is what you're hearing now, and it sounds nothing like he used to 20 or 30 years ago. He's 67. This type of music is hard to pull off at any age, and I wish him well, and I'm sure they'll be part of a big summer tour. They were out with Foreigner last year, and I believe the Jason Bonham Experience. So it's sad because everybody's getting old, and he's talking about having double knee replacements and so forth, which he had, and citing that really made him all rejuvenated and revitalized, and he's not planning on retiring anytime soon. So I don't know, mixed feelings about all this. See you soon, everybody.